trying this dual live thing out right now. Well, these ones are really super magnifiers, so set this off to the side. Let's see how everything's working here. See if YouTube's live. See if it actually lived up for me. Oh, my channel. See if it's... Oh, it is live. Oh, okay, so YouTube's working also. So I got both of them live, which is what I've been trying to do for a while. And let me see, I can add... Rearrange that freeze. No. So this guy right here. Show live comments. I don't know where to put it. I don't know where the live comments go. I'm trying to see how they go in here. Maybe it's right in here. Freeze, rearrange, switch, custom. No. Anyway, I'm just doing some building. I figured I'd just bring you guys aboard. It's kind of worked out good the last time. I want to figure out how to do live comments real quick. So let me put my glasses on here so I can see this damn thing. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, that's it right there. So if I click on that, no, I don't want that. Dude, live comments, show live comments. Okay, there it is. I guess for me, let me see if I can chat over here. Hi. Oh, it's on my YouTube. So I'm simulcasting to YouTube and both places here. Simulcasting. I can go like that. Let me see what this looks like if I make it big. Can I drag this around? I can drag it around. So I don't know if it's working or not. So it's got people messaging me. Oh, Walgreens. Okay, I'm live on my YouTube channel. Let me go look over at Facebook. Hey, Matthew. Lovely. So I'm trying to do these live things. Let me go in here. I'm messing around real quick, so give me a second. Give me a second to figure this. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Well, we'll see if anything pops up on the screen in front of me. And I don't know if you guys, I don't think you guys see this dark section. Let me see. Push play here. I don't think you see what I see. Do you see? You don't. So, okay, that's nice. It's like a live comment thing. I wonder if I can, over here, just set it, I don't know. Just set it right there. That works. Anyway, I am working on Customer's Gun. Customer Gun sent this. It's an emac, and I had to be careful on YouTube if I put a frame in, if we know what I'm talking about while I'm live feeding, they'll boot me. So on Facebook you can do it, but on YouTube they kind of are a little weird about it for whatever reason. And I kind of, oh, here's my other glasses. These are the ones I'm wearing. I have two different magnifying glasses because I can't see. I used to have the best eyes in the world, and now you get older, your eyes stink. So let's put that off to the side. We're going to do this one in a second. We're going to go. Customer's Gun, sorry, sent me this guy right here. Sure, if you want to, Matt, you can go check that out and see if. Oh, let me see. It's the new Mac upgrade is lit. I don't know why that's not coming over on this other thing. I don't know why not live comments aren't. Yeah. Oh, you know, I can do this. This is kind of cool. On this guy, I can say, hey, look, I'm going to circle. How do I do that? I want red. And I think oh yeah, see I can circle something. Hey, look at all. Then I can delete it all. I don't know why that doesn't want to. Whoop, no, that's not what I want to do. Maybe is it here? Oh wait, maybe here. Oh, maybe that top works. I don't know. I don't know why the live stuff's not working here. Oh. Yeah. It's weird. I mean, it's... Oops. I keep on taking photos of things. I don't want to take photos. It's the live comments that I can see on the screen. For me, it allows me to easily answer. Cyclone, testing for... Okay, so Cyclone, you are Matthew Lovelace. What's up, Doc? Desari. Anyway, so this is an E1 EMAC gun. And that's fairly clean. Actually, the eyes look pretty decent on it. So, and I'm just going through it real quick. And I'm trying to get caught up. I am really buried, guys. Ridiculously buried. Which is good. You know, I'm not complaining on that. I need a Q-tip here, which I have right here. Well, that looks clean already. Let me put things in frame. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put a little Q-tip down this hole. Just make sure it's, you know, free of oil and debris. For the most part it is. Okay. And then I am going to squirt some blue Loctite down in there. Of course, my phone's going ballistic. That's fine. I should mute it, but my wife's sick today, so I'm kind of trying to be quiet. She tries to get some rest. And she's not feeling good. Let's put that in and under up like that. This is, since it's going to be an EMAC, I kind of Loctite that bad boy in. I want it to be reliable for the customer. I usually do Loctite those in, but here's a mod I do. If you send me a gun that has a brass ram, I kind of just, it's just part of the package deal. Is I put an O-ring groove in here, and then I take this and I machine it back a little bit. I need to clean this out. You can disassemble this ram. It doesn't need to be glued back together. And I do it on the brass rams because they're, you know, there's no finish issues on it. Let me scrape off the rest of this Loctite. Where's it talking? And I just do it because it makes it nice for the customer. It makes it nice for me if for whatever reason the gun comes back and I'm going to reservice it. And if I have an issue there, I can easily go in and remove that or change the O-rings, or at least the number 10 if there's an issue there. Pulling out the old number 6 down here, getting it shoved through the hole. Here it comes. Grab it there. There it is. Oh, and it is the old one. My Q-tip. From the Q-tip down this way. Spin her around. Nice and cleaned up. While I'm there, I'm going to go in here. Wipe out all the little brass filings that are in here. Should all be out. Clean all that stuff out. It's amazing when you blow through these how much junk comes out. It's just been old grease that kind of coagulates in there. Alright, get that. Let's get a number 6 out. Yeah, you could send it to me, and if it's just doing the RAM on it, you know, I'll take care of Peanut. Peanut does good work. So sometimes, I mean, even if you guys watched Angry Did a live feed, he had a gun that went out. It was an Oracle or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And it's the valve was leaking. Oh no, it was a PE gun. I think it was an Exus, and it happens. I mean, that all happens. I don't care who you are. You text stuff, you think you get it right, and then the customer gets it, and they're like, it's not working. And of course, they're frustrated because they spent, you know, some coin on it. I like Peanut. I think he does good work. nice guy, but that all happens. I always do recommend trying to go back to the person if you can. You know, they need to know that something didn't work. Gosh darn it. I want to get in there. But like I said, that stuff happens. Come on, snap out of there. Jeez Louise. Poke you back out. Sometimes these guys go in easy, sometimes they don't go in easy. Let's see if I can go. Pop out chat. Oh, yeah, pop out chat. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Let me do that over here. Remove pop out chat. And I got the two pop out chats. I can put these side by side. Hey, Charles. Charles probably at work. I feel bad for the Canadians, and another kind of goofed up party in there. But I don't want to go with political stuff. We can do that all day long. I do have my Fight shirt. Oh. And don't hate me if you're not a Trump supporter. That's fine. It's a beautiful thing about living in this country. You have freedom of speech. So I'm okay with that. Oh, come on. It's almost. Oh, did I get it? It's almost there. I can feel it. There it is. Get your snappy dappy in there. Oh, it feels good. I gotta put this needs new. Someone's been in this RAM before. I always get worried that did I already rebuild this? And like sometimes I'll get these and I'll just do the RAM real quick because usually it takes the longest. Number 10. And then I forget that I do it and I rebuild it twice. The urethane bumpers on this are in really good shape. Usually I run a pick into them. If they crumble, they don't. They're nice. So there really isn't a need to go in there and mess with that. Look, I got my big tub of slick oleum. Great stuff. It's pretty neat stuff. Let's see. What did they say about it? Slick oleum is a superior. Grease that generally reduces the breakaway friction of reciprocating seals. So it's actually designed for motorcycle shocks and aluminum tube with O-rings. Does that sound familiar? Little spool guns. Will not swell O-rings or plastic parts. It's good to know. It's water resistant, so it doesn't mix with water. It's anti-rust inhibiting. Holds up on extreme pressures, anti-wear, antioxidant. So antioxidant's really nice. It contains high quality additives. Best used in the low to medium temperature range. Delivers superior performance when the minimum friction is necessary where low temperatures are involved. So it's interesting. They kind of talk about low temperatures. I live in California, so I'm not worried about the main type of temperatures. All those areas that are really nasty. Now, the interesting thing with slick oleum, the slick oleum's the same lube that was the ShockTech lube that they would sell rebranded, and it's the same as oh, that's nice. Is that gonna seal? That's sealing? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feels a little loose in there for some reason. Check this. The O-ring feels pretty darn loose. No. I've got a little different O-ring on here. I have some different O-rings. That one just feels a little loose. Sometimes it gets that way. So we're going to take this one off. That is a number 10, I think. Is it number 10? Looks smaller than a number 10. Can I grab number 9? I'm gonna grab my urethane ones. I'll put a urethane there. They're a little bit bigger. Urethane number 10. Just does look small for some reason. I do have these red ones that are really nice. They're being a red. Let's put this urethane one on there. Being that it's rebuildable, right? Oh, that feels better. Feels like it's got a little bit better grippy. Being that's going on an e-cocker, I want it to, oh, butter. Absolutely butter. Nice and nice. So that can go, that's rebuilt, so it can go in there. Let's see, see if I can get caught up on all these things. Let's refresh that. Let's go into here. No, I don't want it like that. Like that. And where's, oh, there we go. Oh, that works out really good. And I can't see who's viewing. Top chat. All right. Oh, so here's something that's interesting. And I'm sorry for my reviews, guys. They're long. I'm sorry. I keep looking down at my screen. I should put it up where I'm looking into the camera. Let's keep, this is the push propel. I'm trying to keep the frame out of it, you know. And there's a question on this. I took some photos. I'll post them up on my Facebook page, the Docfire Paintball, of this off. I took it off and put it back on and scratched the ano there. Oh darn, not the end of the world. It's on the feed neck. And it is where the notch is on top and the grooves on the bottom. So I think Bearded Works, it was hard to tell from the video. But I wanted to verify that so I can at least get that feedback out. And I did put a Scony, this is the Scony feed that's going on this guy, and it went on there, and I think this would be a little loose, so their specs are probably, come on, focus. Why is it, there it is, weird. Their specs are a little loose on that. Like I said, it's, machining's like, it's okay. Oh, the loud one. Yeah, yeah. You know, I didn't listen to it. I should listen to it on my phone. Let me go see real quick. I want to see what it sounds like. Let me go up to my page here real quick. View channel. I remember it dry firing. I just don't remember it firing. Jeez, what is going on? Not tracking. I don't know why it's taking forever. It's probably because I'm saturating the internet right now. That's all right. So we're going to go and we're going to put this feed neck on, but we're going to do the little tweaks I do to these feed necks. Oh, this one's been done. Yeah, okay. So it's already, I don't need this part. I set that aside. My screw pile. So what I do is I buy, and you guys can do this. If you have the Scony or the Nova has the same. They buy them from Scony, or they did. You can get a 1-inch long, basically set screw 832, and you Loctite it like red or like not red, like blue or green into this little coupler, so you don't lose that little guy. And then you use this as the adjuster, and it works mighty fine, mighty fine. I like it a little bit better because my fear is if I unscrew this with that set screw on it and this aluminum piece drops out and I lose that, then I'm kind of screwed. And so this, you know, I can find these. This is just 832. I can get a nut if I wanted to. It would still work great. So anyway, so we're going to put this guy on here. I'm going to try to get to my, just separate just enough to snap on. There we go. And this guy right here is the wrong size. And I'll change it reviews. Perfect. Thank you. You know, I try to be you know, as in depth as possible. But then I lose track. I'm pretty all over the place. A little Loctite in there. And I try to keep on the key points. I think the biggest thing that I saw in that lapel was I just really don't like the on-off. I think it's a poor design. And it's nothing against the designers. I think they had an idea, they ran with it. And sometimes, and I'm just as guilty with this, is sometimes it's your design, it's your baby. You know, you gave birth to it in essence, and you don't want to give it up for adoption right away, or for, you know, you want to abort it. That's really a horrible thing to say. But you just, sometimes you're not willing to say it's overkill. I'm telling you, as I will show you real quick, one of my favorite on-offs. Let me go grab it right over here. Hopefully this thing, no, it's right over here. That's it, over at Anno. Right here. And I want to say probably the one of the most interesting companies, I say, is MacDev. And I'm going to try to keep the frame out here. But this, the Planet Eclipse Oops is the same thing. I don't know who came out with it first. I think this design is, this is what I call a infinite, reasonably an infinite adjustable on-off. It's a spinner. You can put an O-ring actually in here to create some friction. I like it because you can snug it down. You know, when it's on, you can snug it down. You know it's fully engaged. Port comes out the front. And these to me are great. I wish MacDev would just make these. I should go look at their website. I don't know. Anyway, it's my MacDev Droid. MacDev Droid. Actually, really nice shooting gun. And I like MacDev. I think they're a good little company. They make some nice products. Oh, and I wanted to look up that video real quick. So, videos. Man, it's slow. Okay, push propel. There I am. I hate watching my own self. Ooh, it's taking sweet ass time. Come on. I said go. Let it do its thing. So, it's just kind of, yeah. Oh, there it is. I can hear myself. There we go. Man, I'm going to take off Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm not on Wi-Fi. That's why. That's the problem. I wasn't on internet. Okay, so let me go backwards now. Okay. Yeah, it is loud. It's a loud gun. Yeah, loud gun. I dry fire it here in a minute. Huh. It is. It's got a crack to it. I want to listen to myself dry firing it. And it's just such a long video. Oh, I was out. Yeah, it's even louder. Interesting. And it could be that barrel. Okay, so that's back. But super loud. Let's see. Masterclass videos for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate all that stuff. All right. I wonder how many people have... I've sold a lot of the fire pistons for the War Games and Inception, but it's kind of like everything slows down after some time. So, I'm curious to see how that's all going. But let's take this stuff apart. Ew, that is gooey. Start popping O-rings. I'm not making it a super game. I'm battling some health issues, but nothing that's not going to kill me, so that's all good. But the autococker.com booth will be there. You know, there's a lot of people have asked what's up with autococker.com. There's some stuff on some trademarks, and I have to be careful. There's the word autococker was trademarked. Now, I think legally that's a tough thing to do, and that's why we say autococker.com. So I'm just kind of letting that one ride. It's probably going to expire, and it's probably one of those that just can't be done anymore. Kind of interesting thing. I was doing some research like on patents and trademarks and stuff like that. Where'd the guts go? Oh, I pulled them out already. Did I pull them out? Here's this. I think I did. Oh, here's that. There's that spring. It's all rusty. Oh, here's the other half. That's right. This was all dirty and rusty. So it's already all pulled out here. And I'm not a patent attorney. I play one on television though. But there's design patents, and then like there's several different patent types. I think it's the design patent type that, for instance, if I did a patent and I did a design patent, I think it's design. It could be the other way around. I can't remember what the name of the other one is. I'm just losing it right now. And I show the patent. I said I want it to. It looks just like this. It's the same dimensions, and that patent protects someone to doing a direct copy. But if I direct copied it, but then I put some flutes on the side and made a couple other minor changes, then the design patent doesn't mean jack, is my understanding. Maybe there's people here that know a little bit more about patents than I do, but that's just my understanding. And I could be completely wrong. But I always say that if there's a patent out there, that's what I looked at patenting some things, and I kind of looked at what it takes and, you know, how much money it costs and what the really the value of it is. Is it really worth it? You know, how many you're going to make, how many you're going to sell. It's, you know, you can do the patent pending thing, which a lot of people just try to like hold your space. I don't know how worthwhile it is, especially in paintball this day. I think it's, I don't know. Just don't see it as, see more in tech stuff. I could be wrong. Been wrong before. Okay, let me grab the other box. Where's the other box go? Oh, there it is. This is the box of parts for some of this stuff. So I need every one of these guys. I actually need two. I'm gonna get these O-rings out to start off with, because I'm gonna need these O-rings for that guy too. I need one of these guys. This is my War Games box. We're doing War Games regulators. What are these? What the heck are these? These are all number 10s. Spare number 10s. Interesting. Loose track of stuff that I have. We are going to pluck out this guy. It's nasty. I want to get out of there. It's not bad. I could probably flip it over and use it again, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I could probably use it again, but I'm not going to. I'll probably send it back to the customer if they have kind of like a spare. I don't think they'll need to ever replace it. I'm going to put one of my new ones in. Right here. The bag of green brake seats. These are custom cut by me. That's spec material. Oh, I need 2 of them. I need one for that too. Let me catch up. Yeah, we could work an interview out. That'd be kind of cool. How do you slide? How do you? Let's see. I like how you can slide it over the video. Oh yeah, snappy loud. Holy crap! It's the bearded guy. Hey, it's Jake. Hey Jake, I don't know if you saw it, or I don't know if you were in earlier when I started this, but ooh, look at that. Look how, let me zoom into that real quick. That's just, look how perfect that looks. It looks perfect and nice and flat. Set that right there. It is on the, well here, I know what I could do because I took photos with my phone. And I can just show you my phone. And I did, oops, no portrait. So there it is. And so the grooves at the top. It's so let's see if I can. Here is, that's the larger, the band at the top. It's 0.865, 866. And then the inner is 0.832. I didn't measure the height of it. It seemed to be kind of that standard height, you know, that groove height that's in there. But anyway, there you go, Jake. Because he was quite, it was hard to see in the video, and but now we know. So if we get some of these things, you could. And Jake, the if you didn't hear, the Scony feed neck, I don't know, will definitely snaps on, but feels a little looser. So their specs are, man, that's rusty. Ooh, let me zoom out. Their specs are on the push propel are a little looser, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of what I expect. There's some projects that I don't know how much Michael Spurlock is involved with this. I don't know Michael Spurlock. I don't have anything against the guy, anything like that. I've heard a lot of stories of that. I know he was involved with Machine Vapor. I think they had a parts issue. I know he's partially involved with this, at least with the trigger group, because the trigger group is the patent is on the trigger group, and I know that they use the same trigger group in the Airsoft Arc 1. You guys see a video, a couple videos back, I did some service for a local Airsoft store on the Arc 1, and it's exactly the same trigger group, that block that slides in there. And you look at ANS's, Rory's video, and does a good video on it. It's got a block, it's got a serial number. When you search it's got a patent number, excuse me. When you search that patent number, it comes back to Michael Spurlock, and then there's an Asian, Chinese, or Taiwanese name associated with it. They're both on it. So I know that at least they're selling them or allowing them to make that trigger assembly, that three-way piloted three-way assembly, where I would probably call it. I think that's probably what they call it too. Or not three-way, or it's not a three-way. It's a piloted switch, air switch. Really, what it is. Oh, is that the right one? Is that the? No, it's a bigger one. It's a smaller one. Where'd it go? Here, 17. So I think that's what it is. 17? Oh, it's a 16. 16. That goes here. There we go. This goes here. Should be this guy right there. think that's the right one. I think it's an 11, maybe a 10, I don't know. It's a 10. What am I doing? It's a 10. I'm thinking. That goes there. Old owners. This needs an O-ring, and I don't think it's this one. No, it's not. It's not that one. It's a 112. 112. Got that. Goes here. Yeah, it's not Empire spec. That's also. Yeah, it will fit. I think those will work on it. I think it may be a little loose. I think, like, you know, kind of the history that I've heard with Spurlock and his ventures. I know that Chris Cole, when Chris Cole was owned Zodiac, the ZR1. The website's still up. Look up Zodiac Paintball. And you can see that you can buy the Zodiac guns. And I know that, like, Tim Furpo has one, and I think he did some testing on them. Because Tim is he's an FEP Quest guy. So my understanding, so Chris Cole worked for FEP Quest back in the day. He wasn't the owner. The owner was real good friends with Bob Long, my understanding. Kind of talking to some folks who did machining for FEP Quest after the machinist. The original machinist died from an overdose while machining guns. FEP Quest. And then they went off to Eaton Machine, which was Bob's machinist. That's Jim Eaton, the Ripper machinist. And he did machining for them. And did machining for him, did it for FEP Quest, did a little bit of prototyping for Alien. He's out of Sacramento, California. Did it for Empire, the Vanquish product. Simon from Empire hired them as their prototyping machine shop. And the interesting thing is, Simon hired, it was Simon's project at Empire. He hired Mike Wood, who works with Nova Paintball. He's the 80-year-old kind of engineer, steam engineer guy, does a lot of the Nova designs. He helped them work on that engine design. Jim Eaton did all the machining and prototyping for it, and of the Vanquish. And then my understanding that there were some changes done at upper management of Empire at the time, that they changed some designs to use a regulator that Simon didn't want to use, but they were already manufacturing. And so Simon could probably speak a lot more to that. And so that's why the Vanquish just wasn't as good as kind of the prototype. Apparently works really good. The prototypes. But anyway, did New Make Machine? No, I don't think the ZR1. The ZR1. So I talked to Chris Cole. Kind of a long story. I've known Jim Eaton from Eaton Machine, who was the Ripper machinist, because he did all the Ripper. He's the guy who did all the Ripper machining. He's the one that came up with it. And Jim, super guy. If you guys are curious, he still has a company. He owns Vanquish Products. If you're into RC rock crawlers, this guy makes the premier stuff, probably the best in the world, out of Sacramento, California. Just amazing stuff, and just really, really cool stuff. And he owned Eaton Machine, which was originally based out of the Bay Area, and he moved to Sacramento. He did a lot of machining for the tech industry, like Logitech, Apple. He did a lot of prototyping stuff. They had a display case when you walked into Eaton Machine. It had all these like different mice, mice like these guys that were all aluminum, like Logitech stuff and Apple, and he did a lot of kind of prototyping, machining for those companies. And then he did Paintball was the other thing. And his brother, I understand, was into RC stuff, the Traxxas line. And his brother had like a small website where Jim was machining stuff for his brother. It was called Vanquish Products. And so he was making stuff on the RC side for a long time ago with his brother. Ooh, that's ready to slide off. And hold on a second, get all this. Get myself a tool here. Don't want that one. And so I'm trying to get all kind of back into kind of what all transpired. And so he started machining for Bob. I don't know when, but it was early on because he did a lot of the. Ooh, I'm still turkey in there. A lot of the different early Bob long guns were machined through him, and I think Bob is in the Bay Area, and Bob was down in the Bay Area, and I think Jim just did a lot of machining for those folks. All the torpedo rigs, the old torpedo rigs. When I went to visit Jim, when he owned Eaton Machine, I got a tour of the shop, and they were on their CNC, like a Swiss screw machine, just cutting torpedo rigs. And they had like a 4x4x4 foot bin. It was full, and there had to be probably 10,000 of them in there. So I mean, there were a ton of those made. Let's go in like that. I'll set this up a bit later, but I know it's done, and I can take things apart. I know that's done. And so he did that, and then about 2008, 2009, the industry did a big shift and went overseas, and there was stuff going on with Bob's company. Bob liked to have things made in the USA. Very proud of that. Didn't like that things were going overseas. He felt that you could still get it done here. And a lot of things happened where Eaton Machine ended up going under. Okay, and actually, I only know this because we had from Custom Cockers, we had about 30 bodies in being Ripper machined. It was a custom run, and there's a couple of my bodies in there, and I had hand delivered a lot of that stuff, but I ended up getting a lot of that stuff back to the customers that had already prepaid, and I got the whole kind of backstory on Jim going out of business because he wasn't getting paid by the paintball industry. Multiple. Empire always paid, he said. That's one of the things he did say. So let's put this 15 on here. Anyway, so they go under. He recreates himself as a few years later as Vanquish Products, or kind of rebrands that. He had Vanquish Products open. He was making a custom regulator. I have it around here, and it's really custom wild regulator. And so I've always been friends with him. He's just a super nice guy. Lost track of him for a while, but just a really genuine person. Well, right when I retired, I had reached out to him to see, kind of got back in touch with him to see if he had any autococker stuff that was left, any paintball stuff that was left. And he goes, why don't you come on, visit, check out the new shop. Got a full tour of it, and we went back to a section of the shop that was like a storage area. He had racks of stuff, racks and racks, and made a deal with him that I would help him go through all that and clean it up. He needed the space back. Every time he said he'd go back there, he would get so emotional because they really, what the industry had paintball industry, except Simon, he has a good relationship with Simon. He said this really felt like he got screwed over, and probably would never get back into paintball. So I organized it, found a buyer for a lot of the Bob Long stuff. It's 90% Bob Long stuff. There was one autococker part. It was a bolt that was cut in half. So, oh, that is rotten. That's gone. And but long story short, we're kind of getting. Let me circle back. I don't want. It's not the Jim Eaton story. It's about this Propel. I didn't know he machined for FEP Quest, which screwed him over too. Not Chris Cole. Chris Cole was kind of the engineer for them, not the money guy. And so I found a box of FEP Quest stuff. And I found all the it's called the Q8 project that they were doing, and it was bodies 000, which was literally a block. All the machines were insides were machined out, and then it was the side was machined off so they could inspect it. It's the first one that came off the thing that they were making sure that everything was dimensionally correct on the inside, and then they ran, I think, 10 bodies, and I have a few of them, raw, complete. Have all the parts. One I gave to Killshot Customs, Dan Visani, and the other ones I have, and I need to build them out. Oh man, look how nice that looks. Look how flat that is. This brakes gonna work really good. And so I had reached out to Chris Cole, who I knew was involved in FP Quest, and I sent him photos of that Q8 and asked him a question. And he was like, oh, someone's copying my design. I said, oh no, this isn't a copy of your design. This is literally the stuff I picked up from Jim Eaton. And so he ended up calling me, and we had a nice talk on the phone. Nice guy. And he showed me photos of his Q8 Quest, and he was missing the LPR. They had redesigned the LPR cover on it, and Jim was supposed to ship him his, then he was going to anno match it on his. He had a blue one, and he never got it. And he says the company went under and all these things, and I go, I think I have it here, and I took a photo of it because I had a bag of these LPRs that were marked CC, send to CC, which is Chris Cole. And so I sent Chris Cole that product so he can make finish his gun. And he was very thankful of that. And he gave me a lot of history. He said that he had gone out after FEP Quest had died. Chris had patented the engine on that. I'll get back to that. Patented the engine, and so Chris had a patent on the FEP engine. It's no longer valid anymore. It's a dead patent. And he had we talked about that, and he said, yeah, that's when I came out with. I went over. I met Spurlock. He said I went over to Taiwan, spent a week or two there in Taiwan, and we rapid prototyped the Zodiac ZR1, and he told me, he specifically said, look, I want to use all American O-rings. I don't want any of these overseas O-rings, and he has some specific criteria that he wanted done. And he said, they had everything done. The test gun worked great, he said. And then he flew home left the instructions, and they're going to make 100 units, and they'd be all packaged in a nice little case. That's not the same case, but just saying, all packaged up and ready to go, with all the manuals and everything all done, because they can do everything there. And so he left, waited, did a whole bunch of marketing. I think Master Blasters is his team. I think they were going to be shooting them, and he was at a lot of events. He had a vendor booth. He did a lot of marketing and a lot of hard work, and the guns came, and they had issues. They leaked really bad. That's good. And they had O-ring issues, and so it became an issue of fixing a bunch of O-ring stuff. If that makes any sense. And he finally he found out that there were some design changes that happened. I didn't need this O-ring. Let's save it. That's right. That Spurlock did some design changes that he didn't agree with. Now this is his side of the story. I don't know Spurlock's side of the story. This is just, stuff I heard. Is it right, wrong, or different? I don't know. It's someone's viewpoint, and so they kind of fought the battle on the O-ring issues for a while. Oh, I want to put lube on this. And that product kind of just died. They had a lot of O-rings. If you go look at, Chris does a video on that. He has it on that website. He does a good job on explaining some of his ideas on why he did things. You could run. He had a regulator in the on-off, and then he had a foregrip that you could unscrew, and it was CA threads. You could screw a regulator in, a little plug, and you could run an aftermarket regulator if you wanted. There's some really some neat features. Was that needed? Was it overkill? Probably. So there was just a lot of kind of neat stuff that he did in that, which I thought was kind of cool. I need to read the instructions on this, but that product failed. Now you could still buy them; they're like $900, and I think you can. The website's still live. It looks like you can still do things. I don't know if they sell them. I don't know if I would buy one. But then my understanding is that Machine Vapor came out, and the one thing that was neat about the difference between the Quest and the Zodiac is he kind of the engine's concepts were the same. He did some modifications. He said, look, the LPR was in front on the Quest, and we had to route that LPR pressure all the way to the back. So he put the LPR in the back of the engine. So when you pulled the engine out, which was one moving piece outside of the LPR had a little screw in the back so you could adjust in the back, and then air went through the frame. So it went up through the frame, and he said it was where they were going to go with FEP Quest. That was the plan, and he was trying to go down that path. And if you ever had FEP Quest, I like them. I think they shoot great. Some people don't like them. I thought they were a pretty revolutionary spool valve back in the day that had machining issues. 90% of that gun had just some machining issues. We have a machinist that tweaked out on stuff and then died. So, what do you do? What do you do, I guess? I'm getting all the parts I'm going to put on here. Oh, let's see if I'm missing anything. That. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. I don't know, let me put on there. So, as I'm trying to go back in the story, so then the Machine Vapor comes out. The Machine Vapor, at this point, regulators, HPR regulators were dropping pressures down lower. You had the SLP regulators that you run lower stuff. They found that they can run a lot of these spool valves without an LPR. They were using a dump, a biased, and they were unbiasing the bolt. It was a biased bolt, and they were unbiasing by doing a dump chamber, or a dumping the pressure in front of the bolt to allow the back pressure to push the bolt forward, and then they had a specific valued dump chamber. So the regulators, you were really be able to put that volume of air that takes to push a ball at 68 cubic inch ball at 300 feet per second down a 14-inch barrel. They had the right. They had figured out some volumes. They had figured out pressures. They had realized they don't need these giant guns, and that they could lower pressure significantly. They were really figuring out HPA, and they realized that they didn't need this LPR anymore. It was kind of overkill. They could essentially run things at just a lower pressure, completely lower pressure, where the solenoids, your electronic solenoids, have the ability to survive in it. And when you convert those guns that use electronics that are a dump chamber gun, in essence, or a biased piston, I don't know what you would call it. There's names for it. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but like the EMEX, stuff like that are mechanical, then really you don't have to worry about the electronics trying to blow themselves up or trying to cycle because you're doing it mechanically. And then they do piloted, basically a Clipper piloted three-way piloted valve, which is using air pressure to actually move the valve for you. Even gets better. And so they figured out here comes the machine vapor, which on paper looked really good. And execution had machining issues and some other things. I found out that I think, like the J4 Torque, I think they use Spurlock on getting some of that stuff. And the J4 Torque, amazing gun, machining issues. So I was concerned on this on machining issues, and then I'm concerned if they'll have parts. That's going to be the next thing. Are they going to have parts? Are they going to have grip panels? Or are they going to have the components on the inside? Stuff like that. So it's just an interesting thing. But I think this Propel is, and then they have the R1 or something like that. It's another gun that came out a couple of years ago, which looks just like this. It's almost identical. It is identical. The machining on the outside is a little different. That one kind of, whatever reason, just kind of died on the vine, and now it's resurfaced. I don't know if it was a funding issue or whatever. Let's see. What's it? Okay, so Cyclone says, "Hey, has anyone checked on Bob lately?" Bob lives over there. Like, if I throw a rock from my house across the canyon, I hit Bob's house. Now, Bob, I know, spends a lot of time in Idaho. It's big hunting. He has a house there, and he has his house over here. I've been there before when he still had Field 1, or not Field 1, right before he sold to Field 1. I think they were right in the process because they were cleaning up and stuff like that. But yeah, so he lives close. I used to see him in town at the grocery store, the Rayleigh's, a lot, and so I don't know. I think when you get older, everyone's health kind of gets a little sour. He's no spring chicken. He's got to be in his 70s, and you start, if we have an aging paintball community, myself included, and it's been around that long. So yeah, see if I can catch up on some of these. Let me refresh this one. Let's see. I don't know how many people are still in here. I can't see because I'm not on those pages to look at that stuff. I'm just rubbing oil on these, because it's it's anti-rusting stuff. Go like this. I don't know if I got one of those guys. So it's just interesting. So kind of a long story is, I live kind of in this mecca of paintball. We have in the Sacramento region. There was a lot here. You had FEP Quest was from Santa Cruz, so we're fairly close to that area. Bob Lawn Technologies was in the Bay Area, and then moved up to the Calaveras County, which is right next to Amador County, and that's just the county south of us. And so there's just a lot of it here. You have Palmer's here. You had Predator Paintball, they were OPOC the Pro That was my main store. They owned the local field that I first played paintball. It's called Paintball Sam's. Horrible field. Hated that field. I played at the longest running field in the western U.S., I think in North America, by the same owners, called APG, Action Pursuit Games, before the magazine. And that was run by the Clayco family. And a lot of them have died. The sons are still local. But then that got, shut down because the landowner gave the land to the Nature Conservancy. Save on tax dollars. Yay, Nature Conservancy. So, sorry. Yeah, that's good. Let's get this all buttoned up here. That goes there. Oh, I keep putting this lid away. put a little bit of oil right there on the stem. That goes right there. Just grab my thingy right here. This thingy. We're going to get a little bit of blue Loctite. I'm going to put a dab will do ya. There we go. Don't need much. Just to lock it. I want to glue it in place. I don't want it to rattle loose. So I've got the spring down in there already. Oh, it is. Literally came up perfect. Where's my little set screw? There it is. Someone will probably get upset because I'm putting Loctite on that. Just a dab will do ya. That's nice and lined up in there. I'm gonna send this home. I'll loosen this and then give it a nice snug. Ooh, that's in there tight. Sometimes I have to do this. There we go. That's just my tool that doesn't like that much. I need my caulking rod. That can go there. Okay, that screw went down tight. Now I'm just gonna make it snug. Doesn't need to be crushing in there. Where's my hammer? Here's my hammer. This needs to be clean. It's actually a fairly clean marker. It had a little bit of rust on it, but that all just wipes away. We're gonna go like that. Let's see. I gotta scroll down here. I think it may be your gun. If you're Adam, yes you are. You are Adam, because I'm looking at your name there. It's kind of the same as your last name here. Replace any fronts that are native to market that will improve long-term reliability. Empire Spec Clinton did that. Black on-off tank adapter if available. I gotta see if I can find one of those. Any questions for coming for 20? So the owner, this is kind of cool, had this marker for 20 years. Probably got it drilled, and we're going to count on it. Just cleaning up some stuff. It will look mighty fine when we're done. Should work good. You know, quite frankly, there's nothing in here that I see that breaks me an alarm. It's got a factory valve. It's a newer 2K spec body, so we got the feed neck mod on there for you. See, look at that. Look at that. I mean, I'll try to clean up this glue with a little bit of acetone if I can. I think I can just, get a Q-tip and kind of clean that glue up. Make it look a little prettier. The only thing that you may have is we don't know how the electronics work, which I warned you about that. I don't warranty, when I do e-cockers or e-guns that are old, that you can't get, you can't buy all the parts brand new from the manufacturer. It's hard for me to say, look, I'm going to warranty this, because I can't. You just get screwed in the electronic gremlins that you just you're trying to get in frame here. You're trying to make a customer happy, and so it's just especially the e-cockers, unless you can have a brand new, and even a brand new solenoid. It's not new old stock. Something that's just new is. That looks good. Put a little snuggy duggy on there. There we go. And so it's kind of tough to be able to say, because I've had one. The reason I did this, I had one that came back, and it was like the eyes went on it, the board went bad, the capacitor went bad. It's like, yeah, I tested it. It was good when it left here, and then it came back 3 times, and I ended up making zero money on that, and spent a ton of time. So. A lot of times I'll just say, send it back. You pay freight both ways. I'm not going to get too excited about, if it's something that's need a set of eyes or something like that. It's easy for me to put in. We'll get those ordered. We'll charge you for the eyes. Right about there. And then, you know, well, that's not good. I need to lock that in. But for the most part, you know, it's that you just can't always, you just can't guarantee these old electronics. Crusty old wires. Okay, this should be 1, 2, 3.5. It's about stock on war games. But on this, you know, I'll tell you this right now. Your reg, these regs, great regs. Nothing wrong with these regs at all. They just work. This is exactly the same as all the other Wargames regs, except it's not externally adjustable. You need to take it off. Now, we're going to get this set up, and this preset usually about 320 psi. And that's a good IVG usability to get down to, you know, sub 280s and 300 feet per second for tournament. So we'll get it set up usually around 300 to 320 psi is pretty much perfect for this. And for the springs are good. You have a Shock Tech bolt. Nothing wrong with this. I mean, I can upcharge. Oh, here, let me show you since you just came on. So here's your RAM. This is fully rebuilt. What I do is now I made it fully rebuildable, easy rebuildable. So I put an O-ring here and I machine this so this is not glued together anymore. You can unscrew it and change that number 10 if it goes bad. So easily serviceable, stuff like that. Those are things I like to do. I need to get an O-ring for that. It should be a 113. Just going to kind of put this all back together. There we go. And we're going to put that there. I need where's my ratchet the ratcheter. There it is. And I usually have enough oil on my fingers. Like this O-ring, I just want it to seal. There we go. I have enough oil on my fingers that I lube that O-ring up. It's not a dynamic O-ring, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, this is all Loctited in place, and it's. Oh, I think that's. I gotta be careful. These have like bifocals in them, and things will look bent to me. Not careful. But it'll be a nice, usable. The nice thing is with fresh Loctite, I'm pretty sure that's straight as an arrow. I can't really see. Yeah, I think it is. Usually I can just slip it on like this to see. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, it should be good. It should be good to go on this. I haven't done many live feeds on my YouTube lately because I've been trying to figure it out. And then they kind of are bitchy about frames stuff, so. Okay, we need a screw for there. We need a set screw for there. I gotta find one. I do charge $1 a set screw, or a screw. Now I have just quickly go through this pile here. I don't have it here. It's in another box with all the screws, but usually I have extras sitting here in front. Let's see, I think it's 1032. Is it 1032? I think it is. Almost positive. still trying to get that back. I just don't want to screw in there. There's a 1032. So weird. What does it want to? Maybe it isn't 1032. It's 832. Is it 832? Oh, I think it's 832. It is 832. That's why I wouldn't go in there. Yeah, so we're not going to use that set screw. We're going to have one that actually fits. Which I have my 832s. And I won't fit under the box. I got to find those. But anyway, that will need to go in there. I'm just going to set that there. Well, we got that there. I'm going to screw this in here because that's done. And then with that's on there, I'm going to go and grab this guy. This guy I need to go through, but I can do it while it's on the marker. Grab this guy right here, number 11. Let's see. Hey, William. How you doing? I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to try to line things up. Just poke these through these little holes. Yeah, paintball industry is just an interesting industry. I feel very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing on a lot of this stuff. I just put just a little bit of purple on that. I just want to kind of keep it in place. I don't want it to move around. I'm going to take the solenoid out and lubricate it. This one actually, I probably didn't need that. Probably didn't need that stuff, but it's not going to hurt. That worked out nice there. Let's get this and this. We're going to get this guy, bring him a little bit wider. Right, snug that down. That's good there. Get a little bit of blue goo on here. Wrap that around. I was talking to Mark Davis. He went to Pirates Plunder. I think it's Pirates Plunder, one of them, with Chuck Painter and some friends in St. Louis. He wanted me to go. I just couldn't right now. I'd love to go. But they shot, he said that they were shooting Valken. And he said that shot really, really good. And he bought a case of Valken Graffiti and a case of the Valken, it's their next grade down. And he said he bought a couple cases of the next grade down, right up there, for doing some testing on. I have always been a big fan of Valken Graffiti. After the Nelson paint just kind of faded away, and then I got my Nelson deal, but that's done. We're out of that paint. That Nelson paint that I shot for all these years, that stuff is from like 2008, and it was just kept inside. It was just shot really, really nice. It was just quality paint, and the closest paint that I get that I think shoots like the Nelson Anarchy and has the same type of fill, in my opinion, is the Valken. Someone sent me a message. Okay, I want to pull this off here. Of course, that's coming off all the way there. See if I could put the set screw there just to hold everything. Hold on. So I like Valken Graffiti. If you haven't shot it, give it a try. I would. I think you'll like it. It's the stuff I have here, and in California, arid climate, 675, a little bit smaller. But man, does it break nice. Just a nice shitty paint. Someone messaged me on my phone. Let me go see who that is. Put this guy on there. You know, all that stuff just kind of Loctite in place right now. Oh, it's out of screen. Gotta try to sure thin screen. If you guys are looking for new guns, new autocockers, hit up ShockTech's webpage. Buy one from them, brand new, super nice. If you're looking for a used autococker, Jake from Beardwork has a nice selection of them, and I know that they are nicely teched. He does good work. All that stuff. So let's pull this off. This is the nice thing about this. This is why I like this. Pull it off here. Oh yeah, look at that. We're going to put this on here. I think that's going to go right here. We're going to go a little bit of blue Loctite on this guy. If I can get it down in the hole there. The other thing is Mark Davis. He's got some more guns coming. You guys like the Mark guns? Mark will custom build you one. That's a little messy. I'll have to get my Q-tip out. That's fine. I'd rather have a little bit more on here. Being this is an E-gun, we're going to spin that on there. Easily. Okay, so got that on there. Let's spin this guy back on there, and then I'll finish kind of setting the gap in the back block. But yeah, that's who I recommend going to. I gotta get it just right. Jesus, it's perfect right there. I don't need to do anything. It was just complete luck. I may take it out just a little bit. Get in here and my little stick and clean up any goobers in here. Wipe that up. There we go. I'm going to take my pliers right here, and I'm just going to spin it out right about there. And maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Well, there we go. Now let's see. Here is the ball detent. I'm going to put this in dry. Bolt out. What you got there? Okay, so that wouldn't dry. I can put an O-ring on this. That's what I want to do. Oops. Yeah, Bill, I like. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I like the fact that GI owns Marbleizer, and they're what were originally Core or whatever. I used to shoot Core paint when Core did paint at Super Game Oregon, when it was before I think Core had bought GI or something like that. That's a little tiny dot there, just a small dot, very, very tiny dot. And it shot the cord that they had white and blue paint, and it was shot amazing. And at the time I couldn't get Nelson Anarchy because they had gone. And that's perfect there. And so it shot, I mean, just really, really shot good. Let's get to the hose. The hose. Got my coil of hose all over the place. It came off the spool. And let me just get a length of this. I want to cut out that. I don't want that. Get a length right there. There we go. And it shot amazing. And then I think GI, Core, whoever bought National Paint Supply, I don't know how that all that went down. But ever since then, the GI, one of the 5-star, when the star stuff came out, it was mediocre. I mean, it was just like, it was just okay. And was never really completely impressed with it. Okay, I'm going to twist this a little bit back like that. Just, come on. There we go. Perfect. I just was not really, I don't know. I've never really had any good GI paint lately. Now, I have people say that it's really nice, they like it. I just have had really bad luck with it. Like super bad luck with it. And the graffiti, shot a lot of, and I'm not a person that's like, oh, I'm a brand, if the paint shoots good, I'll buy it. I don't really like, this has got this kind of funky twist. I may change this a little bit. That'll work. Yeah, that's just the right length. So, if the paint shoots good, I'll buy it. That's all I really care about. And I want it to shoot good, and I want it to be fairly priced. When I say fair price, I get it. They got to make money, and but man, I'm telling you, I've wanted GI to work really good. It seems like they kind of have a monopoly on a lot of the fields, and I'm kind of concerned that that's a little bit of the problem. Is if you control that monopoly. There we go. I'll probably shorten this one back here a little bit. Let me twist this out just a little bit, and just to relieve a little bit of that pressure on that, so it's a nicer shot in there. Anyway, so I sent the customer some extra hose. So I don't know. It's just one of those full-size shot tests. You guys can order them directly from them. If they don't have them in stock, just go and email info@shocktechusa.com and email. So look, I'd like to build a full size. It's exactly the same price, folks, and you can pick the anno color. That's the nice thing about it. That's the tough part. Is sometimes they'll try to just send stuff out for anno for rando, and sometimes it comes back, and sometimes it's hard to sell. I think they have some stuff on their site. Do they have full size? Let me see. I thought they had one. Let me see. ShockTech USA. Oops. Let's go see real quick. Whoops. ShockTech USA. There they are. Come up. Let's look at guns. Full size. What do they have? Yes, they have full size on their site. Okay, so they've got this gun I've seen in person. This anno is awesome looking. It's freaking cool. Why this hasn't sold? It's a full-size gun. Now, are they going to... So what did we ask? Full-size shot-type one. Desert Fox, I got to ask them. They were... I think if they were going to do a full-size in another style, it may be the Desert Fox. The problem is it's... I was talking to Danny when he did the CAD work on that, putting those hexagons on the side to kind of expand that. He has to redo everything. He just can't like stretch things on that and kind of do some other stuff. So anyway, so they've got that one. They've got this purple and this one. I'll tell you right now, the photos that that they don't do the stuff justice. They're light tint, and they've been fighting with a better light tint. This gun I've seen in person. This is a dust, and it's a clear dust. It's a really beautiful gun. A clear to like a black. It's like this transitioning to a black, and it's a great looking gun. Let me see here. There's a good side photo of it. There it is. It's a great looking gun, and if let's say you wanted silver pneumatics, you just call and let us. Hey, can you swap the pneumatics to silver? They'll do it. So hit them up, and if there isn't, just order one direct. They're not affected by tariffs, folks. They make stuff in the USA, so they don't have a tariff issue unless the cost of materials. And I know they did a whole bunch of blanks here recently before any tariffs went into effect. So they do everything in house. So their company's not affected by tariffs at all. So you want a gun that's when they say it just works, they just work. Now I do know they had a customer recently that bought a gun, then ended up loving it so much, got another gun, and then he actually had some issues with it. He had to send it back, and they quitted. They ended up putting a whole new valve in it. The guy said it just doesn't work as good as the other gun, and Danny got it back because he was right. It just didn't. It seemed off, and he ended up just exchanging parts in it, just to look at replacing the valve springs and everything. So anyway, but the body style for the full size is the only. Yeah, I know. I agree with you 100%, and I've made this argument. Their number one selling and most requested gun is that CG2, which is that body style, or 3, CG2 or 3, whatever it is their CG2 is their number one requested. So if that's the one that you requested the most for, that's the one you do. I get it. I think they would crush it with a full-size Fire, full-size Desert Fox. The CG2, I think, CG3, which is the one that's the kind of the flat panel, it's like even more old school. Yeah, you could, but he doesn't like this blank spot would be this really kind of blank spot. Like my Desert Fox is in the other room. It becomes unappealing. So yeah, you could. You can get a 2x4 stretcher. I think those work too. You have to get a heavy duty 2x4 stretcher because you don't aluminum. Yeah, I like. Shane Burns likes the. I think that's Shane B. I think that's Shane Burns. I like the CG3 too. It's probably one of my favorite guns that they have. When the Desert Fox came out, since it's a local team to me, I bought it because of that. Let's go look at custom guns. Custom guns. Custom. No, we want to look at body kits. Body kits because we can look at all the designs. So they have the Fire series in stock. Do a body kit too. The Desert Fox in stock. The STR. The STRs look really good. They don't photo well. I think they are another nice one. The STR, let me bring that up right here. That's this body style. I think they look really good. I'm not a big Judge fan. I don't really like the Judge. It depends on the ammo you get. The CG3 Mini. Right here. CG3 is, let me, this. Oh, that's not the way to do it. CG3. This, if you, let me zoom in. Let's do this full Monty on this. This is actually a raw body. And look at that little diamond pattern machining. Now, they could just extend this bottom piece forward a little bit more, and they could literally stretch those milling designs. This gun I really like. Really like these guns. Now, they're not a wire detent. They're ball detent. And Danny's very partial to the wire detent because of tournaments. So, but then again, there's a little bit of argument say that, well, Danny doesn't buy all his own guns. He sells people guns. So there's always that. So let's see. Hey, Ray has Ray won or bought the Pink Fire, the Lady Luck, number 21 of the Fire Series, the Lucky Lady. That's what it's called. Lucky Lady, the Jason Antle gun. He commissioned, I said, I'd never do a pink gun, and he purposely requested a pink gun. And since he's a customer, grease on my nose. Well, that can never be used on customers' guns anymore. It's going to fresh you out. Runny nose. He commissioned that, and Ray ended up getting it. It had gone through a customer after Jason, and that customer kind of tweaked on it a little bit, and kind of took it out of really kind of functioning well. And Ray sent it to me. We did a free service on it for him. Did a quick turnaround because it was just resetting it back to factory. And Ray sent me a message recently saying how great he really shot good from. Really had a good time with it. Ray has a nice. Ray's new to autocockers, but he has jumped in feet first, and he's neck deep and swimming in some really cool, iconic guns. With the MacDev Sonic autococker that he got from Mean Gene from Autococker Parts. It was a new unbox. Needed a full rebuild because all the seals have rotted out of it. And that's a Merlin spec. Those were machined by AKA, I think the blanks were those. Pretty sure. But the reason I'm not finishing this because I have to put a frame on it, and I can't do that on YouTube. So, but anyway, Ray, thanks for showing up. Let's see if that's expensive. Yeah, I agree with you, Bill. Like back in the day, like I would like Marbleizers were like Marbleizers and Nelson Anarchy. When I went to the store, they were the $65 cases. And if I had extra money beginning of the month, I would buy a case of that. I love shooting it. I generally shot RPS, RP Share. Premium, which was the 2 shell color. That was the one that was about $45 a case, I think. And then when it was end of the month and I was really hurting, I would shoot a Big Ball, which is RP Share Big Ball, and it was like a purple color, dark purple color ball, and it was basically they took all the remains of the gelatin shell material, and they mixed it all, they liquefied it, mixed it all together, what I was told. And then, yeah, 85, that's expensive. And then that's why it was just dark colored. I think it was just leftover material that they reconstituted and made into sheets again. And the Big Ball, we call it Big Bounce. It's actually shot good here because it's an arid climate, so it would actually break on folks. But you would usually... It took 3 shots, so you shot twice as much Big Bounce because it was probably going to bounce. But usually they were squealing themselves out, so, you know. Big Bounce was right, you know, it broke a little bit better than Monster Ball. You got a Kmart, which is banned at every paintball field around me. And I'm sure across the nation at some point, because that was like getting hit with a rock. And 68 caliber round rock, that stuff was horrible, dangerous stuff. Monster Ball, garbage. The only thing nice about Monster Ball is they came in a nice tub. It was a nice plastic tub. It was so it survived Walmart and stuff like that. Man, I got a runny nose. So, yeah, the old Big Ball. Yeah, the price was solid. It was, I want to say Big Ball was like $35 a case. By the time you paid tax, it was like $32.99 or something like that here. I remember, a white box. And then there was what was it? Great White. It was a Great White. All American. It was a white box stuff that the sticker had like a flag on it, the American flag. I think it was all. It wasn't All American. It was Great American. Great American Paintball. That's what it was. And that was manufactured in Reno, Nevada. And it was really sold as white box junk. But every once in a while you get a nice one. But it was made in the USA. That was nice. I never shot the Nelson like their grade down from Anarchy. I think it was just Nelson Premium, I think they called it. I think I ever shot that. Palmer sold the Nelson stuff. That's where I buy Nelson from. And then the other store in Sacramento was either Predator Paintball or Ace Hardware, which the guy started it because he didn't like the Predator guys. Yeah, Marbs were available at Walmart, but that's when Marbs, I think they left RP Share and they were trying to, yeah. I don't know, maybe they were, like here, the Walmart here where I live had paintball, and you could get Brass Eagle, I remember that, garbage, and they had Monster Ball, but maybe they did have Marbs there for a while. But they were the marbleizers that weren't the shiny kind of shell, which was like glossy. They were the matte, and I think that the formula is they used paper pulp in the gelatin mixture, and the paper pulp made the process a little bit cheaper. And that stuff was garbage. It was just junk. Yeah, I agree with you, Jake. I bought a lot of things I couldn't buy in when I was younger. Like, you know, just be able to go out and say, I'm just going to purchase this I'll probably never use it. Probably just going to sell the thing. More than just kind of the review. I'm more interested how things work on the inside. I really kind of dig that. And I always like the FFP Quest stuff. So, but I tell you one thing. I like my Mac Dev. This is my Mac Dev Droid. It's an old gun. It's really, really nicely built. And I want to say their regs are just super nice regs. I think I just think they're quality stuff. This Mac Dev just feels really good. It shoots really nice. It's simple. It's not a whole bunch of buttons and LCD screens. It's just a simple board. It works. Their features, even their eye detents. This is back in 2000, whenever these came out, 2006. Yeah, okay, I have a little button. That's probably the wrong screw there, but look, everything's machined really nicely. And the test of time. I got the DG grips on it. This is. What's that name of that company? TG. I can't think of the name of it right now. But everything just feels good on this gun. It's a nice gun. Let's go. Let's see. Big bow. It was solid. Trying to catch up. But anyway, that's what I have for today, folks. And with that, I am going to go to the bathroom. Because I gotta go. Remember, fight. So everyone have a great time. Thanks for showing up in YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe and like the little bell thing and whatever, all those goofy things. And in Facebook, I don't know what to do with Facebook. But if you can, it does help out a little bit. All right, everyone. I am going to bounce out of these.